Good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is for you. And as always, no matter what time it is, whether you get up in the afternoon, or you work evenings, whether you work nights, still put your cross on. There's things in this world that we need protection from. And the only way we can get protection is through the Lord. You understand? A gun can't save you, a knife, but the Lord can. He can watch over you better than you can watch over yourself. It's hard to watch over yourself. Think about it. It's really hard. You can see a lot of things, but you can't see everything. How about put your trust in somebody who can see everything? Everything that goes before you. He know the path for you. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Forgive us our trespasses. Because I guarantee you, every day you do something that's not pleasing to the Lord. And forgive others often. That's why I say this prayer every day. It covers everything. Because sometimes in our prayer life, we can get selfish. God knows what we need of before we ask. That's what Jesus said. So keep it simple, sweet. I ain't saying you can't talk to the Lord. Talk to him. But learn how to pray to him. I just told you. You don't need a book. This book tells you how to do everything. Let me continue on with Exodus chapter 15. Now, the Lord has just opened the Red Sea, parted it for his people to go through dry land, the baptism. And the Egyptians, that same water, they were destroyed by it. Let's see what happens. Exodus chapter 15. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord. What was the whole point? So they can serve him. You see, when you go through battles, a lot of people, I see it all the time. I used to too. We act like we prevail by our own hands. As you grow closer to Christ, you're going to realize that you didn't do nothing. Only way you can walk or talk or speak or hear or accomplish anything is with the Lord's help. From the Lord comes my help. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. Who has triumphed gloriously? We have. The Lord hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. The Lord is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him in habitation. My father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his host hath he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. The depths have covered them. They sank into the bottom as a stone. Thy right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, have dashed in pieces the enemy. And in the greatness of thine excellency, thou hast overthrown them that rose up against thee, rose up against us, rose up against thee. Thou sendest forth thy wrath, which consumed them as stubble. And with the blast of thy nostrils, the waters were gathered together. The flood stood upright as an heap, and the depths were congealed in the heart of the sea. Thy enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Thou didst blow with the wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. There's a lot of key words in here. Thou hast guided them in thy strength into the holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestina. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them. All the habitations of Canaan shall melt away. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm, they shall be as still as a stone, till thy people pass over. O Lord, till the people pass over, which thou hast purchased. Thou shalt bring them in, and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dancing. And Miriam answered them, Sing ye to the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness, and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink of the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people murmured, Moses, saying, What shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord. And the Lord showed him a tree, which when he had cast it into the waters were made sweet. There he made for them a statute and an ordinance, and there he proved them, and said, If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and would do that which is right in his sight. Pay attention to what's being said. If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and would do that which is right in his sight, and would give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians. For I am the Lord that healeth thee. And they came to Elim, where were 12 wells of water, and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the waters. Let's read that part again. It's always a if or but. Mainly ifs. Jesus said in the New Testament, if you love me, you keep my commands. I keep my Father's commands. So you got to keep mine. So if he keeps his Father's commands, you got to keep the Father's command and Jesus' command, which are one. Let's read this again. If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and will do that which is right in his sight, right in your own eyes, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. It's my good pleasure to give you the kingdom, says the Lord. If, like we seem to forget about the if. Jesus said it so many times in the New Testament. If. In the Old Testament, if. You see, it's no guarantee, because it's an if there. The if is, you got to follow after me. You got to listen to my voice. I won't bring none of these plagues or calamities upon you. If, I was talking about the story of Brazil. These people claim to worship God. Even got a statue of a so-called Jesus. Huge. But yet throw a parade for the devil, mocking the Christ. A flood came the next day, or a few days later, and cleansed the land. It's like God let the Red Sea fall on them, and the inhabitants thereof. Why? If you love me, keep my commands. There will be no other gods among you. It's very simple. And you know that statue got struck by lightning. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If the Lord loved that statue so much, I don't think he would have struck it by lightning. Because God said don't make no idols. Nobody know how Jesus looked. And then how they portray him is not most likely how he would have looked. Ain't that crazy? Man's imagination. They tell you. Leonardo da Vinci modeled Jesus after his lover. That is the truth. And everybody putting that picture up everywhere. A false Jesus after a gay man and his lover. Now that's the warning. I talked about warnings yesterday. God gives often warnings. That's the warning. Simple. Exodus chapter 16, let's see what happens. Let's see if they take heed to the warning. And they took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came into the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month, after they departed out of the land of Egypt. Remember, the Passover is still going on. I just want to throw that date. Passover on the 14th, enemies destroyed on the 14th, 15th. Now, you will understand something about the Passover. They are still walking, working, reaching towards their destination. They just stop and chill on the Passover, or for those 7 days. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Here it is. So murmuring against Moses and Aaron is like murmuring against who? God. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt. Lord have mercy. He just warned them. When we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. I could have sworn he just cleansed the water for them. But the thing is, that's human nature. That's us. No matter how many, especially non-believers or people who don't really believe the truth. Now you got to remember, it wasn't everybody complaining. But as a whole. Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. And the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. He's finna give them the Passover meal. Ain't that amazing? And it shall come to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel, at even, then you shall know that the Lord hath brought you out from the land of Egypt. When they supposed to eat the unleavened bread? At evening. And in the morning, then you shall see the glory of the Lord. For that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord. And what are we that ye murmur against us? And Moses said, this shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For that the Lord heareth your murmurings, which you murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurs are not against us, but against the Lord. But you got to understand what I just said. A murmur to Moses. Moses is a servant of the Lord. But their murmurs are against who? As Moses spake unto Aaron, saying, to say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. And it came to pass, Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel that they looked toward the wilderness. And behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, so everybody saw this. I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, speaking to them, saying, at even you shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. You shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay around about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna. For they wist not what it was. And Moses said to them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather, look at that. If you love me, keep my commands. And look at these commands. It's always a warning. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating. An omer for every man. He was teaching them how to eat just enough. It's the same. According to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for him, them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more, some less. And when they did meet it with omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. Now check that out. Everybody ate different amounts, but everybody ate just enough. Does everybody eat the same? All you need to eat is a portion this small per day. That might work for you. Might not work for me. That's why I come to the Lord. He tells me exactly how much I need to eat. And he gives me exactly how much. For all you dietitians out there. And Moses said, let no man leave it of it till the morning. What's the commandment? Take what you need for yourself and leave nothing till the morning. There was a warning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. Now think about this. The Lord's trying to tell you something. I know it's going to spoil, but the thing is, I'm going to give you some more every day. I know it's going to spoil. And I did this to test you, see if you were going to listen to me. God does all types of things like that for us. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun was hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread. 2 armors of one man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said to them, thus is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you will, bake today, and see if that you will cease, and that which remaineth overlap up for you to keep until the morning. And they laid it up until morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. You see the instructions. Now, on the 21st day, shall be a holy feast to the Lord. Let me pause, and I will continue. That's actually today.